All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Charakah, Kodash. Double honors to our elders and our apostles of Great Millstone. Salutes to the sincere elect out there. Keep pushing, as we know. We almost out of this bitch. Yeah. Ninjas most definitely have to be cut off. According to the scriptures. But yeah, I was just I happened to watch a documentary, Louis Theroux documentary. And he does a lot of controversy. He goes into a lot of dangerous places, in United States of America, all around the world. So it just got me to do this video. Most dangerous cities in the US 2026. This one was a couple of years ago, and he was doing investigating or interviewing the gangsters in Milwaukee. And it's rough out there. He's been around this dude, Louis Theroux. He's been around a long time, and one of the first times I see the so-called Black Hebrew Israelites, which they're not the Black Hebrew Israelites, and I saw one of the elders over there in New York was through him, through the thing, documentary I saw around 2020. He went into the Black Panthers. He interviewed Khalid Muhammad. He interviewed the Muslims, and he interviewed the so-called Black Hebrew Israelites, as they call them. Elder Yeshaku, I'm butchering the name. But anyway, just the point is he's very outlandish. He does very dangerous. He goes to very dangerous places. There's a lot of others who's followed his example in going to dangerous places and meeting gangsters. But yeah, I just wanted to get into a little, just to hit the scriptures, because yeah, they talk about stereotypes. A lot of it can be stereotypes and biases, racial profiling. But there's no doubt about it. There is ninjas that need to be cut off, according to the scriptures. So here is the most dangerous cities in the US 2026, from Memphis to Milwaukee. That's where he went. He went in Milwaukee, and I really got a lot of stories about it, but I want to keep this one simple and to the point and just bring out the scriptures. Yeah, it's dangerous, man. Chicago too. I don't know. There's a lot of brothers live in Chicago over there across the water. New York. We've heard testimonies about New York. What's the other place? Anyway, it might come to me. But yeah, we know ninjas. Ninjas need the way the youths them are. 20, they say, I don't know if I'm. When he was interviewing him, he said, I may not live till I'm 21, and they walk around with guns, and even you got women that be sleeping with guns in the bathroom. They carry the guns and keep it next to their bathroom. They keep it under their pillow. Ninjas, man. Ninjas need to go. High crime rates often highlight underlying challenges such as economic disparities, social tensions. Scriptures are going to be coming to me while I'm reading this. Deuteronomy 28. And we're not going to this is not me making any excuses for ninjas. Either way, because you Edomites are full of hate for niggers. So there may well be a lot of biases as far as police and getting stopped and searched and racial profiling. But the scriptures, we just have to deal with what the scriptures say. As a matter of fact, let me hit it now. Zechariah 13:8 says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land saith thy power, or the Lord, Yahweh, in capitals, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. I'm just going to go over this briefly. Crime rates often highly underlying challenges such as economic disparity, social tensions, and effectiveness of social law enforcement, effectiveness or profiling of law enforcement. We're not going to leave that out either. Recognizing these patterns can inform targeted targeted policies and communities in initiatives armed at reducing violence and improving overall well-being. The following list presents the most dangerous cities in the United States based rates based on recent dates. It's important to note that while this list provides insight into dangerous US cities, is it Harlem? Yeah, it just came back to me. Harlem, where a lot of them so-called black conscious people them live. Harlem is highly rated up there as well, but I don't think it's under this list. Harlem, you got a lot of cities that are just Chicago. We hear a lot about Chicago, but there's a lot of other that go under the radar. Milwaukee, that's where he went. Louis Theroux, he went to Milwaukee, and people saying, yeah, this place is worse than people living in Milwaukee that was being spoken to by interviewed by Louis Theroux, saying a lot of those Chicago ninjas, them Chicago gangs, they come here to do their stuff. So over there, Milwaukee is worse than Chicago. And there probably a lot of people may beg to differ. You know, you got to be living in them areas to really know. But the following list presents the most dangerous cities in the United States, rates based on recent data. It's important to note that while this list provides insight onto dangerous US cities, they don't encompass the full spectrum of safety or equality of life in these cities. Well, I'm just going to go through them now. There's a lot here. If the spirit's on me, I'll go into a little bit more. But really, it's really about the scriptures. So the first one is Memphis, Tennessee. It's trending, trending. Memphis, Tennessee, and it says ranks one. #1 on the U.S. News World reports most dangerous cities. List the cities recorded a violent crime rate of approximately 2,501%. 100,000 residents in 2024, nearly 6.5x the national average. The most common crimes is aggravated assault. Boy, whole heap of statistics here. If you want to read all of this, you can. A whole heap of statistics there. Aggravated assault. So that's trending. Memphis, that's Memphis, Tennessee, right? That's their #1 there. Oakland, right? And there's probably a whole heap of bias going on, but it just backs up what the scriptures say. 4, Baltimore, Maryland. That's #4. Have I missed any? #3, St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis, Missouri, #3. Baltimore, #4, right? Detroit, Michigan, just to name a few. Alexander, Louisiana. Boy, Cleveland, higher, right? It goes on all the way up to about 25. So you got the idea. Now let's hit the scriptures, man. Yes. And as our elder said, our elder Apostle Rakar says, we gotta keep away from ninjas. The ninja woman, yep, and the ninja man. You gotta keep away from them because yes, they have dilemmas that they have to deal with when they do the they have to do the what they call it, committees, and they have to do, weigh up things, and they ask questions, about when a brother gets in a jam. They ask questions. There's certain places you shouldn't be, just to keep it simple and plain. And we've got to have high standards. Certain places we shouldn't be going, and certain places we shouldn't. People, ninjas, we shouldn't be around, right? And that's what that's from the on up. That's from on high. Why brothers may get themselves in jams and difficulties, certain places they shouldn't be, right? As we know, I'm looking at a lot of these. I've been looking at. I'm curious about the type of things that people be doing now. It's changed. It's changed a lot, man. Ninjas be getting younger. Ninjas be carrying knives and guns much younger than in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, and much younger now. So we gotta have standards. That's the point. We gotta really have standards and beware. I found one point here interesting. This is another one. Howard University News Service. This just to, cause we ain't just gonna be biased about everything. Ninjas be wicked as all hell. But the real ninjas are the Edomites. But I'm just making a point. We got to curse out our own people because our own people ain't right. It says here, Sidney Singleton, a senior accountant major at Howard University from Queens, New York, says that the police presence is greater in the black communities. As a result, crime is reported more often in those areas, right? Because this we're taking out the this what they call profiling, right? Crime they report crime, right? As a result, crime is reported more often in those areas. If a white boy is driving with drugs in his car and a black guy, right, or a ninja, right, guy does the same thing, but the black guy gets pulled over and the white boy doesn't because the white boys don't get profiled like black people, which I've seen it with my own eyes, right? Did the white boy have drugs on him? Asks Singleton. It's an issue of racial profiling, said Singleton. Yeah. So we know we're going to bring the balance. There's a whole heap of profiling going on, right? And that's all around the world. But Deuteronomy comes into play with a lot of that. Deuteronomy, where it goes in, and 28 goes into the curses. But yeah, no doubt, 2/3 have to be cut off. Zechariah, let's get back to the scripture. Zechariah 13:9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name. Right now we're talking about the elect, right? The refinery. What is it saying? I'm going to get the other precept that just come back to my mind. If it wasn't of the Lord's mercy, right? If it wasn't of the Lord's mercy, there wouldn't even be a remnant. But that's of the Lord's mercy. They shall call upon my name, right? Yep. We're calling upon his name now. He's elect, he's chosen, right? And I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God, right? In capitals, Yahweh. And we're calling upon the name now, right? Calling upon the name Yahweh now through the intercessor, the mediator, Yahweh Shai. And that's how we're going to be saved. But that's talking about the elect. We got to endure to the end. And as I said in one of my previous videos, we got to keep our medicine strong and don't neglect the fundamentals. The fundamentals in the scriptures, the fundamentals as a man of the Lord is praying, right? And brother's been pushing that praying hard, right? We're in the time of the post Passover, the post Passover. You got the pre-Passover, past, present, and the post-Passover is a time to get into it even more. But it's really all year round. We got to not neglect prayer and keeping our medicine strong, because this is a time of sifting. But that's the point. 2/3 have to be cut off, and there's a lot of facts and data to back up what the scriptures say. I did bring out the balance. There's also a lot of profiling that goes on because Esau is a devil, right? He has a perpetual hatred, but that doesn't stop the fact that yes, the scriptures are real, the scriptures are true, and all of them, all the ninjas and 2/3, all the ninjas, 2/3, Goyim nations, the Edomite, y'all got to get your judgment. And that's what the scriptures say. And let me hit this other one. As a matter of fact, I'll end with that one. I'll end with Habakkuk. No, I'll end with Lamentations. But here's another one. Isaiah 1:3 says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know. My people doth not consider. Yeah, them ninjas in Milwaukee, that documentary. It was putting me a lot on game. I found out a lot of things that I knew, but it's worse. I definitely know it's got much worse now. And the scriptures that backs up the scriptures, 2 Timothy 3. In the last days, you're gonna have a whole heap of people getting from bad to worse. Loosely paraphrasing, headstrong, no respect for their parents. Is definitely, the scriptures definitely back that up. So yeah, which is all in according to prophecy. Yeah, Isaiah 1 and 4 now. A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters, they have forsaken the Lord. So the Most High has turned his back on them. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. Yeah. Why should you be stricken any more? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick. The whole heart is faint, right? And if the head is sick, the whole body is sick. Sick, demonic people. And you got the idea. The scripture says these children are wicked as all hell. Demons. So Ezekiel 2 and is 6, it says, O thou son of man, be not afraid of them. This is talking to the Simon Ezekiel, the prophet Ezekiel was given. Though through berries and thorns be with thee, and thou dost dwell in among scorpions, be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. Yeah, scorpions and vipers, and that's what he was dwelling among. He had a similar story with young man Jeremiah when he was dealing with them. Yeah, at one point he was sympathetic to them, but when he when he saw what they was capable of, he started to put up curses on them. Right? Young man Jeremiah started to put up curses on them because he saw what they was capable of. So we don't like these devils. They have to be cut off and let the scriptures be fulfilled. So we got one more. You got the idea. You got the point. Lamentations 3. Yeah, and I'm gonna repeat what the Elder Rakar said. We got to have standards. There's certain ninjas we can't even entertain them, man. It looks much worse over there in America. There's certain places I would never go. No doubt about that. You can't even have a decent civil conversation with them. They be looking to rob your ass, and you know, it seems like the World Wide West, where the wild west. That's what it seems like when you just watch them documentaries. They're very thought provoking. The wild west. Who is the wild west? Is what that's about. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's about who draws first. Who draws the gun first? That's what it looks like. This is that bad. So Lamentations 3 and 21 says, This I recall to my mind, therefore have I hoped. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassion fell not. Right, it's the wild west. These ninjas have to be cut off. We're in full agreement with that. And yes, according to the scriptures, they are being cut off. Right, that's when we hear why we hear about these judgments. We don't let ourselves. You can't give it too much, energy and too much sympathy, because it's according to the scriptures. We don't give too much energy to these devils and sympathy to these devils, because the scriptures has to be fulfilled. Jeremiah done tell us about that. You understand? Many and other prophets too. So yeah, ninjas have to be cut off, man. The ninjas do have to be cut off. I just wanted to give the scriptures. I just wanted to give the scriptures point of view on that, because that's where the balance is and that's where the truth is. Until the next one.